Does the UK have a deep state? The secrets behind the TV show revealed. The new Fox series kicked off earlier this month and tells the story of retired Secret Service agent Max Easton, Mark Strong. He gets dragged from his idyllic life in France back into the spy game when he receives news that his son Harry, Joe Dempsey, has been killed in action. Max's final mission before retiring had been an assassination that he was instructed to make look like a suicide. Daily Star Online spoke to security expert Clive Reedman to find out exactly what a deep state is and if it's something to worry about. He exclusively told us, in a nutshell, it's a very secretive group or amalgamation of people that exists to support, in my view, a status quo situation. In other words, maintain the order as it is, so that those who enjoy power and privilege can maintain that. If a deep state situation exists in the UK, it isn't necessarily something that the average person needs to worry about. Clive said, it depends on your perspective as to whether the status quo of society is naturally something you want to keep in place for the good of all, or whether you object to it being weighted to one side with many wealthy and powerful people that sit at the top, and others that aren't anywhere near that. The retired fingerprint expert thinks it's almost a certainty that the UK does have a deep state situation or, more likely, various deep state scenarios going on. He said, we've got government, law enforcement and the church, and they potentially could act in reasonably separate ways but, of course, they do cooperate. The last thing that will be allowed to happen is people find out about it happening. Clive Reedman, there is still some kind of relationship between them because it's in their interest that the others continue what they're doing. But Clive doesn't think we'll ever find out if there are people working in an environment like we see on shows such as Deep State. At the end of the day, the maintenance of these things is vital, Clive told us. If these things really exist and they are the thread that holds this whole control mechanism together, if it starts to unravel, the last thing that will be allowed to happen is people find out about it happening. That destabilizes, and the destabilization is what you're trying in lots of ways to prevent, because the solid state that is controlled, is how power is maintained. If it becomes shaky and starts falling apart, then the risk is you lose the power. He went on, then there's how many degrees of connection are there between people that exist in these environments? You could say, in Deep State itself, you've got the head of MI6 who is a lovely chap, of course, but actually is bent as a 9-bob note. But 2 down from there, would anybody even suspect that person? So if he fell, how would you know? Deep State continues tonight at 9 p.m. on Fox UK.